Yes. It's the same.
Yeah,
I haven't changed it.
I know.
You were just used to the numbers, right?
These are the numbers, yeah.
I'm not.
Tonight we start on page 636. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Yedid nefesh afarachaman meshor avtecha eretzonecha yarut avtecha kemo
Page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Page 128, the next page, the bottom of the page, Ele Chamda Libi.
Ele Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'alna titalem. Ele Chamda, Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'alna titalem. Ele Chamda, Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'alna titalem. Ele Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'alna titalem. Ele Chamda, Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'alna titalem. Ele Chamda, Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'alna titalem.
Page 131, Yismachu.
Yismachu hashamayim, Yismachu hashamayim, Yismachu hashamayim, v'tah ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ומלואו, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ומלואו, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ומלואו, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ומלואו.
Page 138, Lechadodi.
La 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 B'nai Shabbat, B'nai Shabbat Mikabla Shamu v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmiyanu elam yochad Adonai echad Ushmo echad L'shem ultiferet v'litilah. La 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 l'chadodi, la 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 l'ivkat kala, la 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 B'nai Shabbat, B'nai Shabbat nikabela likrat Shabbat lehu v'lecha ki makor habracha merosh mikedem nesocha sof maseh b'machshava tefila. La 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 l'chadodi, la 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 likrat kala, la 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 B'nai Shabbat, B'nai Shabbat mikabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orer kumi uri, 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 שידברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לה 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 לחדודי, לה 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 לקראת כלה, יה לה 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 B'nai Shabbat, B'nai Shabbat nikabela. בואי ושלום, עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
As we welcome Shabbat with Lechadodi, Marina, I'd like to invite you to welcome Shabbat by lighting our Shabbat candles. For us, we're on page 118. Careful. Are you on fire?
No.
And if you can also light, just before you do that, light our candle. Sorry, that was my bad.
No, I should have learned last time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam l'shiach v'shanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'halak ne'eshel Shabbat.
Amen. Let's turn to one another, wishing one another a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Lipstick. I keep worrying about lipstick. Oh, it just touched you. It just touched you, and I touched Catherine today as well. I'm just getting all the... So much glory. I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Whadjuk Noongar Nation and pay our respects to elders past and present. I'd also like to welcome those of you who are joining us through live streaming. I don't know, can you see the numbers there, Mike? You can't see, Marina? Oh, there's 14 people online. I know, it's... People always think we have to count our numbers by how many people come to shul, but it's also about how many people join us online as well. And some people do just log in for a minute and then log out, usually when I'm speaking.
But some people are also a pair, you know, amongst the 14, so there's couples. You know.
Yes, there's more than one person behind a screen. So for those of you who are joining us, we so appreciate it. You bring the warmth into the sanctuary as well. And we're going to continue with Shalom Aleichem on page 142. And before we get there, when we started singing that version of Lechad Odi, my eyes met with the bandos. And I then went to Mike and said, and Marina, do you feel at home? Because there's go to Temple Beth Israel more than they come here.
The thing is,
not you, Marina.
We sing that version so rarely, that particular one, only like once every 3 months or whatever, you know.
But that's like the traditional TBI
is
version.
Is it? All right, okay.
So, it's lovely to have you here and we wish you a long life. Other visitors joining us this evening, Sean, it's lovely to have you here in Shul tonight. You've been before, I know, but just want to wish you welcome back. And Jessica and Andrew, welcome back. And Neil, welcome back. So let's turn to Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Pochem LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedrem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Let's rise for the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא תברח חירותי וימלך מלכותי, ויכון וביום אחד, ובראי לכל בית ישראל. הגלה, הגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתברך ויתרומן ויתנשא, ויתעלה ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי קדושה ברכו, לעילה מן כל בחטא ושירתו, תושבחת ונחמתה, תאמין רנדמה, ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, המבורך לעולם העד. המבורך, המבורך לעולם העד.
On page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Arevim.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נעשה בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגי יומם יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
We may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 157, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land. The winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha, on page 158.
Mi chamocha, mi chamocha, mi chamocha, ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha, mi kamocha, nida b'kodesh, malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zeli anu v'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam ba'ed.
ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. And this very important prayer of shelter as well as of peace to protect us as we enter into each evening and each day, to protect us under the shelter of God's wings in whatever way that may be meaningful. And we certainly ask God's protection at the moment against the Israeli athletes that are in Paris for these Summer Olympics. Chatting with the bandos, it's 52 years since Munich. Today. 52 years since the Munich, that was the actual assassination, the kidnapping and assassination of those Olympians. And when you see what's going on in Paris and around the world, and even here in Australia, speaking with Warren before services, I know that right now at Murdoch University there's a Palestinian or Gaza symposium with a lot of speakers coming in. Murdoch seems to have been pretty quiet through this whole time, but right now they've got a week of Palestinian and pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel speakers speaking. The Jewish community has sent representatives to the university, to Murdoch, and I feel passionate about Murdoch. I'm an alumna of Murdoch. And just to keep an eye and to record and to see, to make sure that what is being said is not as hateful, let me put it that way, as what it might be. I know that there's also been some stuff happening at Curtin and as well more recently again. But just in speaking about one of the speakers, you know, when he was asked to define what genocide means, just deflected the question and chose not to answer it. So words, we know, are so incredibly important. Definitions are so incredibly important at the moment. And you can't help but to feel that why has, of this week of all weeks, is Murdoch putting on this symposium, leading up to the Olympics, during this week, and it frightens me enough to want to make, and maybe I should make it a time to meet with whoever will meet with me, the Vice Chancellor, the Chancellor, and going as an alumna and as a religious representative of this Jewish community, to have my voice heard. It's too late now. Actually, I think the symposium at Murdoch is actually something like 10 days, not a week. So it's not a short amount of time, and you can imagine how much is being said, and we can only imagine what will come out of Murdoch University by the students. One of the questions that is being raised constantly is this: are our youth lost? And I look at some of our youth. These are some of our young adults. You know, are our youth lost to us? And I'm not talking about necessarily Jewish youth per se, but have we lost this generation of people who think clearly and succinctly about issues, who are able to think logically about what's going on in the world, to put it into context of reality, not just in the ethereal of the academic world. And many people, while they are unable to answer that question because only history will tell, respond by believing that this is a far greater issue for where we are headed into the future. This is a far greater issue for where we can look at the Jewish community 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, when these students are involved in political life, are involved in business, are involved in civil life, where they will stand. Or will they be like typical students who when they're in university tend to be on the left of issues, but many, when they come out of university, enter real life, tend to become a little bit more understanding of how the world works. The challenge that we face is that we cannot leave it to chance. And therefore, it is important for us to speak up and out and post and do whatever we can very quickly. I think one of the things that I have failed to do enough of, and that is sharing and posting. And I feel right now, especially this week with the Olympics, is for us to bring to the forefront, to bring to the absolute forefront the importance and the memory of the athletes that were killed in Munich and what the Olympic Games truly stand for. As a symbol of freedom, of unity, of solidarity, and that extremism, whether it's on the right or whether on the left, is unacceptable. I do not buy into the statement we need to have our friends wherever they come from, wherever they might be at the moment, and I struggle with that, if you understand what I'm alluding to, because some friends and the people on the right say that they're friends, some people on the left. When I say our friends, I mean the Jewish community, not Temple David. But this is definitely, as one of the readings we just read, this is an hour of change. This is a generation that is going to face some serious decisions, some serious hardship in understanding, in unity, in solidarity. And as we remember tonight, as we will remember later through Yahrzeit, the memories of those who fell at Munich, along with our own, we allow them to be a symbol as well as what the Olympic Games mean, of courage, of being together, and ultimately of freedom. And also so that when we speak up and out, we are working hand in hand with our fellow community members, wherever they may be, to ensure that the next generation is not drawn into the extremism that we may feel at this time. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to turn in our Sidorim to Hashkivenu on page 160 to truly pray for a shelter of peace.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru on the next page, 162.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים עשה השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Let's rise for the Amidah on page 164.
Adonai sefta tiftach ufi yagid tefillah. Adonai sefta tiftach ufi yagid tefillah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imot, U'bevi Gola Lifnei V'nechem, L'amon Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Oseh U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Satzara. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chayei HaKol atah Rab Le'Oshiyah, V'shif HaRuach U'Merit HaGashem, V'Ziach HaShemesh U'Merit HaTzal, V'chakel Chayim V'Chesed, V'chayei HaKol V'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Ofer Olim, U'Mashiach Surim, U'Mkayem Emunato Yishonei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, U'Mino Melach, Melach Benit U'Mchayeh, U'Masmiach Yeshua, V'Niman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, V'chayei hakol.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We continue silently. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
ועל כל יושבי תבל. May God bring peace to the world, and let us say,
Amen.
Amen. We turn now to Aleinu on page 586. I've given the drush mic, unless you'd like to give a drush. Which 586, let us rise as Mike comes and opens the ark in honor of his grandparents, Marion and Ernest Kaufman.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצא את הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושרינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצא את הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושרינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. עבד מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום מהשמות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, השמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
So I've invited Mike to share a few words about his grandparents. So make sure he's speaking to the mic.
Righto. My grandmother passed away 27 years ago, and my grandfather passed away 40 years prior to that, the same day. They came out to Australia from Leipzig in East Germany. They got out here in 1938. My grandfather was a dentist from Germany, and he had to, because he came from there, he had to repeat the whole course again, and then he opened up his own surgery, his own dentist practice, and pretty well after he opened it up, he was only a young fellow, he was only 51 years old, he passed away, had a heart attack and died. But my grandmother, she was a daughter of Emmy Monash, which is related to John Monash, Sir John Monash, cousin. She opened up, they started up in Melbourne, the Emmy Monash home, which Kim knows quite well. At the time it was for people who were less fortunate and to help them out in a way to look after Jewish people in that. And now it's a full-blown... Yeah. And yeah, great, very happy to be living in Australia, a free country, and to get out of Germany at the time before with what was going on. And yeah, I just want to say one other thing too. It's interesting, Maureen and I have just been to Europe for 6 weeks, and there was one time we were in Bucharest in Romania, and the hotel we were staying in was amazing because straight away I heard people speaking Hebrew, and there's a whole lot of Israelis coming over there, and they were, you know, having time off probably from the army and that, but you felt like you were in Israel. It's such a beautiful feeling, wasn't it? And they had the breakfast buffet. I won't tell you what they had on it, but they had it in English.
You didn't eat it anyway.
As in English and Hebrew. So,
wow.
And to be quite honest with you, over in Europe, we didn't really see any situations as in they were more worried about what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. You know, it was very small amounts with Israel. So,
yeah,
there you go.
It was the same as a similar situation when I was in Koh Samui. You felt like you were in Israel, with all the streets, a lot of the signage and the restaurants, all Israeli, Hebrew everywhere. You just felt like you were. The amount of people you were in the markets, the night markets, and Israelis around speaking Hebrew.
So you didn't feel we're here, we're in Australia, and it's.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, anyway.
Thank you for sharing.
No worries.
May the memories be for a blessing.
Thank you.
And so as we remember the Kaufmans, and we also turn our hearts to the memory of the lives and the loss of our loved ones who are certainly from the last 5 days, the last couple of days, while they died on October 7th, their bodies have been recovered and they've been able to be reunited with their families. And so particularly to this evening, we remember Ravid Katz, Oren Golden, Maya Goren, Sergeant Kirill Brodsky, and Staff Sergeant Tomer Yaakov Achimas, some of the hostages whose bodies were taken after they were killed into Gaza. May they truly find rest and peace under the shelter of God's wings, as their families would have been able to finally say and share El Malei Rachamim, God full of compassion, and the Kaddish for them. For the Shloshim, we remember Elaine Rudatsky and Barry Walters. And as we continue with our yard sites, we remember Regina Zenvik, grandmother of Nadine Perlin, Louis Perlin, father of Nadine Perlin and grandfather of Joel and Nathan Angert, Val Katz, mother of John Katz and Diana Drachenberg, Marion Kaufman and Ernest Leo Kaufman, grandparents of Mike Bandor, Joan Parsons, mother of Dave Parsons, Richard Reese, friend of Joan Motta, Elsie Samuels, mother-in-law of Joyce Samuels, David Meyer Wolosny, father of Rick Wolosny, Lotta Durenberg, friend of Barbara Goldstein, Hyman Harris, father of Leona Liedman, Harry Liedman, father of Bruce Liedman, Adele Elisha, grandmother of Jeanette Bates, and Louis Kahan, uncle of John Katz and Diana Drachenberg, and Sarah Bella, daughter of Jeanette Bates. If you'd like to remember a loved one for Shiva, for Shloshim, or for Yahrzeits, I invite you to share the names of your loved ones at this time, as we also take a moment to remember the athletes who died at the Munich Olympics 52 years ago. Do you want to say something, Margaret? Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of the righteous be for a blessing as we join together with the Kaddish on page 598. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrach hiritei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon avyom echon, v'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'marur.
Amen.
Yahei shemei Rabbah mevarach leolam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitada v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'elam min kol brechata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'ymarur.
Amen.
Yahei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru.
Amen.
Hamakom yinachem echem b'toch sha'ar havlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved in Zion and Jerusalem and around the world, and we say,
Amen.
Amen. Just a couple of announcements before our final song. We have TDRS tomorrow morning at 9:45. And due to popular demand, TDRS will revert back to the 9 a.m. start from next week. I know. I think the parents want a longer drop-off time. And Shabbat services as normal tomorrow, but there's also book club and coffee club, competing activities tomorrow after services, Mahjong on Monday. There's Schmooze Club on Wednesday. Schmooze Club is always looking for more volunteers to come and help out. And that's at midday on Wednesday. Israeli dancing at 5:15. There's ITJ and there is Hebrew. I'll not be able to teach ITJ on Wednesday night. The lovely Gina will be teaching ITJ for everybody. I'm actually going to the opening. I've been invited to the opening of the October 7th exhibition at J-Hub, which is going to be open every night, obviously except Shabbat, between the hours of 5 and 7. So I invite everybody to go ahead. They will have artifacts, they'll have and other things from October 7th, almost like bringing October 7th to J-Hub. I don't believe that there's any entry fee or anything like that. Sorry? J-Hub, at the new J-Hub, the new Jewish Center. It's open. It's very much open now. And it's in the space that will eventually become the Holocaust Memorial. And so please do go ahead if you can. I know it's an awkward time, but I believe even if you go on Sunday afternoon or something like that, if you work during the week. I don't know if it's open on Saturday afternoon.
I think it says Thursday too.
Oh, you put the times on there?
Yeah, I put it on there. It says Sunday to Thursday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Yeah,
so not Saturday and Friday and Saturday. So if you can't go ahead during the week, go on Sunday night. And next Friday night, Dove and Dine and dance at 6:30 p.m. Bring your dancing shoes, your tap shoes, and come and dance. Margaret will be leading the dancing. You usually do.
Yeah, she does.
And bring something, a vegetarian dish to share if you'd like to come along to that. I don't usually promote other major events for all different organizations, but I am quite taken with this year's JNF speaker. It's going to be the previous speaker, publicist, or whatever you want to call him, former Israeli government spokesperson, Eilon Levy. I don't think he's going to give any secrets away about how Sarah Netanyahu probably fired him from his position from spokesperson from the Israeli government. But he's very well spoken, and I'm quite keen to go to that event. That's the fundraiser for the Jewish National Fund. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for the biennial in Canberra, who doesn't want to go to Canberra? That's from the 7th to the 10th of November. It's all in Mar Chadash. So I know that you read Mar Chadash from cover to cover every week. Have I missed any announcements? Oh, I know you guys do, because you're newbies. Any other announcements? I think that's it. And our final song is Ki Shmera Shabbat. This is the Baghdad melody, in case you were wondering, on page 634.
Ki Shmera Shabbat el yishmereni, Ki Shmera Shabbat el yishmereni, oti le'ol me'at heinu ve'ni, oti le'ol me'at ve'nu ve'ni, Ki Shmera Shabbat el yishmereni, Ki Shmera Shabbat el yishmereni.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Don't forget to join us for Kiddush.